How would you like to increase your sales conversions by 4 to 600%? That is the power of using scarcity and urgency in your sales and marketing campaigns. In fact, Brendan Burchard and many other sales and marketing gurus out there have gone on record saying that 70 to 80% of their sales during any sort of marketing campaign typically occur in the last 48 hours before the campaign ends. This is why you are seeing so many people adding countdown timers and scarcity and urgency to their sales and marketing efforts. The fact is, it just works. However, this has led to many people thinking that it's just a matter of adding a countdown timer to a page in order to get the same results. And that's really not the case. And I will touch on that later in this video. The reason why I wanted to do this video is because I'm seeing a lot of people asking about Deadline Funnel, which is a software as a service platform that allows you to build authentic scarcity and urgency into campaigns. Many people are asking, can I use Deadline Funnel in Kajabi or any of these other platforms that they're using? But here's the thing. Deadline Funnel is a very expensive software solution. A new solution has recently come on to the block. As of January of this year in 2023, Countdown Hero hit the scene. So I wanted to make a quick video that touches on Deadline Funnel versus Countdown Hero and do a detailed review that will touch on exactly what they do and the concerns that I have about both of them. Now, again, this is going to be a detailed review. So below this video, I'm actually going to have chapters that will allow you to skip ahead if you want and just see the demo, the live demo of Countdown Hero, what it's able to do and if it will meet your needs compared to Deadline Funnel. And then after that, I will touch on how Countdown Hero compares to Deadline Funnel. But before all of that, I want to really dive into the concept, the strategy of using urgency and scarcity in your sales and marketing and why it's so effective and when you should and shouldn't use it. With that said, in this video, I'm going to talk about the urgent procrastination problem to be aware of and the opportunity that exists if you know what to look for. I'm also going to touch on the devastating costs of using fake urgency, which destroys the reputation of a business if not done properly. 3 unique competitive advantages that Countdown Hero has compared to Deadline Funnel, and the concerns, complaints, questions that I'm seeing online as it relates to Countdown Hero, and my final thoughts as it relates to Countdown Hero, just so that you have all the information that you need to decide which solution is best for your business. Now, in case you haven't seen my videos before or you're new to this channel, just a quick introduction. I'm Dex Williams. I'm a best-selling author of The Secret to Profitable Business Ideas, and I've been doing sales funnel optimization for well over 13 years, mostly for local businesses, but also for some online businesses. My special power is that I help businesses to increase their sales by 30% or more in as little as 30 days using my proven strategies and systems implemented into their existing operations. I have been using Deadline Funnel myself with my urgency strategies for the last 2 years, and I was spending quite a bit of money. So when I discovered Countdown Hero, I was skeptical, but then I really dove into it and I could see how it can compete with Deadline Funnel in certain areas. So that's what I'm going to touch on in this video, where they compare and why you might want to choose one over the other. Now, that being said, if you haven't already checked out Countdown Hero, you're on the fence, you're maybe curious, this is why you're watching this video, you can use the link below this video in order to try it out for 30 days risk-free. And I'm also going to give you access to a bonus bundle worth $495 to help you get even better results. and I'll touch on what's included in that bonus bundle later in this video. It's a hidden bonus, so you're going to have to find it. That being said, let's talk about the problem with procrastination. Right now, consumers are more distracted than ever before. You know it, I know it, we feel it. We're getting bombarded with sales and advertising messages relentlessly. This means you need to have the attention, the focus of your market, because they might get distracted and not come back to whatever you're offering them. This means that every decision is about what has to be done now versus what can be done later. That is where having that urgency, that scarcity comes into effect, because you're making people say, if I don't do this now, I might not have the opportunity to get this value that's being offered later. With that being said, if you have struggled with the strategy of using scarcity and urgency in your sales and marketing efforts in the past, it's not your fault, and there is hope. Has it occurred to you that despite all of the gurus and different websites and videos talking about how amazing countdowns are, that they might have been designed to fail you if you're just using the default solutions provided by whatever platform you're on? See, it's not as simple as just tossing a countdown timer on a page. You actually need to have the right tools for success. Because if you just grab a countdown timer that just looks like it's going to do something and it doesn't really do anything, you really have only just created a fake scarecrow for your business. And hence the image on the screen, eventually your market's going to realize it does nothing. And the fact that you have it on your page is actually almost insulting, because initially they might have been like, oh, I got to do something about this. But then they realized, wait a minute, I came back later and the countdown was still there. I refreshed my page and the countdown reset. All kinds of embarrassing things. So with that being said, it's really important to realize that scarcity is like salt. And here's what I mean. A little bit of salt on a product might make it taste absolutely amazing, might give it just the right kick that it was needing. However, too much salt in any product can completely turn off whoever's consuming it and potentially ruin your reputation and kind of turn them off from ever wanting to try your products ever again. The same thing applies with scarcity. A little bit of scarcity at the right moment can make the experience perfect to seal the final step of the sales process and get them over any hurdles, any sort of humps that they needed to in order to take action. Too much scarcity that comes across as aggressive and pushy and manipulative, and it really hurts your brand moving forward. Shady tactics will kill your sales. Despite what the info biz gurus out there are saying and promising of easy results, yes, countdown timers, urgency, scarcity, it has the ability to increase your sales by 400 to 600%. Yes, 70 to 80% of your sales will typically come in the final days of a campaign. However, if you are abusing it, if you aren't genuine and authentic in how it's being implemented, you will be using fake urgency, fake scarcity, and that will ruin your credibility. Because if people take action that first time, yeah, you got that sale. But if they see, oh, you're doing the exact same campaign, that same countdown timer is still going the next day, the next week, the next month, you've lost their trust. And you potentially have legal risk implications for perceived fraud or false advertising, etc., by your market. And this is why you will often see some marketers saying they refuse to use scarcity and urgency timers in their promotions because they don't believe it's genuine, it's not authentic. And the reason for that is because there are so many people who abuse the strategy, who abuse the concept. This is why Deadline Funnel got created and grew to be the industry kind of gold standard when it comes to creating that live launch automated reality on an evergreen basis, because it allowed for that genuine, authentic urgency to be used if done properly. Now, Countdown Hero is claiming to do exactly the same thing, but at a fraction of the investment. Countdown Hero will also allow you to replicate the urgency of a live launch on autopilot. It will help you to free up a ton of time from manually having to adjust your deadlines. So if you want a campaign to end in 4 days or in 1 month or on a specific date, instead of you having to go back into your sales and marketing funnel and updating all of your emails and all of your website pages, you can have it done on autopilot in one spot, set and forget. And of course, as I mentioned multiple times now, it does have the ability to increase your sales conversions by 400 to 600% compared to any sort of campaign that doesn't have it. So even with the marketers out there who refuse to use countdowns, who refuse to use automated urgency, the results that they're getting could be even better if they were willing to add scarcity and urgency into their funnel. But again, nobody wants to do it if it's going to come across as fake, as inauthentic or unauthentic, but it can be done properly. That is why Countdown Hero was created. So who is behind Countdown Hero? Well, it's a guy named Rob and another gentleman by the name of Kennedy. Together, they founded Email Marketing Heroes, where they show regular people how to make more sales on the internet using psychology-based email marketing. These are the people who business owners and marketers turn to when they want to sell more of their existing products by tapping into the wide range of triggers that cause more people to buy. Now, one of the things that I really appreciate about Rob and Kennedy and the Email Marketing Heroes kind of concept that they started is that they have been using Deadline Funnel for years. They have a membership program and they've been teaching their students to use Deadline Funnel for years. But Deadline Funnel has a significant financial investment tied to it. So these two said basically, why don't we just create our own version of what Deadline Funnel creates, but without that heavy investment? And they did it for their membership. And now they're making this available to everybody without having to join their membership. And that's what's really cool. Here I am inside of the Countdown Hero dashboard. Automate Hero is kind of like the overall platform for email marketing heroes, and they have a bunch of different tools. Countdown Hero is one of those tools, just so you understand. So I've already set up my connections, but I'm just going to do an example of how to get started with Countdown Hero. So you would first have your countdown campaign name. So you could just do like demo campaign. And then you could have various labels that you could create. So you could create a label that's called, say, demo, right? Now, this is just to help you stay organized so that when you have a lot of funnels or countdowns going, you can quickly see all the ones tied to a specific brand or however you organize them. Next comes the main thing. Here's where you're going to decide what the deadline length is going to be for your campaign. Now, you could start off with a fixed date and time. So you could say that on, July 8th at whatever time, let's say you want it at 8 o'clock a.m., for example, you could have it all of a sudden, that is when the deadline is going to end for this offer. And of course, you can pick whatever time zone appeals or applies to you so that it's accurate. So when you say that at 8 a.m. Eastern time, this offer expires, that's when it's going to expire. It's not going to be based on when the person, the visitor to your countdown is seeing it, because that wouldn't make sense. Now, most of the time, you're probably going to be using either a timer based on days in the future, or you might want something even more closer than that, like 2 hours, 45 minutes, 3 hours, etc. Here's where having days in the future would make more sense. Let's say that starting today, you want tomorrow at midnight to be when this deadline ends. You would say in 1 day at 12 o'clock a.m., you want this over. Or you might make it at 11:59 p.m., however you decide to do it. So if someone was to join whatever campaign you've started today, tomorrow at midnight, your time, this offer is gone. You might also decide to do something like let's say someone just bought a product from you. Well, you might want to give them 1 hour to make a decision on your upsell or your one-time offer or whatever, where at that point you would say in 15 minutes, you want this offer to expire. So at least that way, whenever this campaign starts, they click the link in your email or whatever, they land on the page, they have 15 minutes to decide. If you decide to go this route, just letting you know what exists. Now, let's say that you did go with a campaign that ends in 4 days at midnight. Well, you might not want to have the countdown on that page the whole time, because it does kind of reduce or water down the effectiveness of that urgency. They got 4 days. That's where this option comes into play. So you can actually hide the countdown on that page until, let's say, the final 2 days. Or you actually might get rid of that completely and make this the last 12 hours. So they could go to the same page multiple times, but finally in the last 12 hours, you might send an email that says, hey, you have 12 hours left to take action on this offer. And if they go to the page, they will see there is 12 hours left. Time is counting down. Now you can see how that urgency kicks into play, and there's actual consistency from the page, from your email messages, etc., all for that exact same time. There's no disconnect. That's if you choose to use this. I think it's pretty effective. Now, another option that you have is that you can allow your contact to go through this campaign never, always, or only after, let's say, 30 days, 90 days, 180 days, etc. So if you have an offer that you don't want people being able to do multiple times, you would pick never. But let's say you have something where every 60 days, every 90 days, yeah, they can take advantage of this special offer, then you would adjust it accordingly. Again, super flexible. It's up to you how you implement it. The next really cool feature, if you integrate with one of the platforms that Countdown Hero supports. So for example, here's the ones that they currently have. They're in the process of adding more. For example, if I'm using this with Kajabi, I would actually be using the other platform option. So unfortunately with Kajabi, they don't allow for the direct integration for the tagging feature, but the other stuff does work. However, with ActiveCampaign, for example, you can have this merge with a field created for that contact. Here's why this is so cool. You could create a field for the date and time, and then another field, or you could just have this for the formatted date and time. So for example, I could use this as my example. So formatted date, I created the fields in advance. I could have this field for this contact store the date in this style. So let's say I want this field to store this format. Any emails that I send out to this contact, I could just insert this personalized field and have something that, hey, remember, you have until insert field here to take action. And that email will then use that placeholder and put this format in. Or maybe I don't want the date. Maybe I just want to have it time-based. So I could have it say at 9:30 a.m. Central Eastern Standard Time, or just 9:30 a.m. So it doesn't even have the date at all. So I could then have another field that would then have the date, or the date and time together as the standard, or I could create another field that would then have, the formatted just the date by itself. Basically, you have options here. You can customize it as you want, but I could create a field just for the date and another field for the time. And then in any emails I send out, I could say, hey, remember to buy this before 9:30 a.m. Or, hey, remember you have until Friday, April 29th to take action. It's just really cool to be able to insert the text into the email or possibly even to the web pages, depending on what platform you're using, because it just makes it seem that much more genuine, more authentic that, hey, they actually wrote this out. It's not some automated countdown timer. It's written, so it's probably real, right? It just adds to that authenticity. Now we move down here to the page settings. So here's where you would have the page where you would be having the countdown. So this could be democountdown.com right here, or most likely it would be more like sales page. So you would have your sales page with the active countdown timer, and then you could choose, do you want it to redirect somewhere when that timer is done, or do you not? If you do not want it to redirect, then don't worry about it. When the countdown expires, it'll just pop up with a message that says, this is expired now, the end. Or if you want, let's say, that whole sales page to be gone, you could then have the expired page like that. And so when the countdown is done on the sales page, they'll automatically be redirected to the expired page. And anyone who clicks the link in the email for your offer will automatically go to the expired page instead of seeing the same offer. So it actually seems, again, more authentic, more genuine that, hey, this deal is done. And then you have the not in countdown URL feature. Actually, before I get there, you can add additional pages if you want. So you could have a sales page as part of the campaign. You might also have something like frequently asked questions or testimonials. The reason why you might want to do that is because each one of these pages, you could then put the countdown timer on so that it almost appears that no matter what page they go to, this countdown, this deadline is happening. They're seeing it consistently on every single page, no matter what device they access it from, or what computer, or wherever in the world they are. Once they visit these pages, they will see the exact same personalized countdown deadline timer for them. And then each one of these pages could be redirecting them as soon as that countdown is done. So that's really cool. I will remove these just so it's not cluttering the page. Now, you also have the ability to direct people who aren't part of that campaign from seeing it. So, for example, let's say you have a deadline offer and they go to share it with a friend. You're like, oh, you got to check this out. Well, if that friend isn't already in your deadline sequence, which they probably wouldn't be, they will actually be redirected to a different sales page that maybe gives them the ability to opt in to join the campaign. Or maybe they'll see the regular price and be like, no, I'm seeing it's still $497. And they're like, oh, wow, so I actually do have an exclusive ability to buy this course, this training for $99 because my friend can access it, because they won't realize that the link, the access link, is custom tailored to their contact information. It's not available to everybody. And that's where the power of that authenticity comes in. If they try and access it from another computer and don't use their email to access it, again, they're going to see the non-campaign sales page or whatever you choose to use. So there you go. Test mode allows you to go and check out your sales pages and your various pages without having to be in the campaign sequence. Otherwise, you will just get redirected as if you were part of the campaign. So that's kind of how you set it up. The next step is actually to go into the web page timer and email timer. So as you can see, here's an example of one of the timers. You might be like, oh, that looks kind of gross. Well, you can change it. You could pick from any of these 5 styles to add to your web page. Now, let's say you like this style. Well, cool. You might want to change the color of it to something else. So you might want to change the text color to green. Or you might want to change the label color to another color, like, I don't know, let's do orange. So now you can make this match your brand if you choose. You can see there's a title at the top. You could turn that off. Or you could get rid of that line that's also going through it. You can change the separators that go between the different numbers, or you can get rid of them completely by just clicking on that same separator kind of selection again. Let's check out this style. So let's say you wanted to change the background color to red and you want the text color to be white. Maybe you want to have the separator on with the semicolon in between them. Obviously, the label color is still black, so let's make that white, or I can make it yellow, perhaps. See how that looks? Now you can see that the corners are rounded, so I can actually get rid of that by changing the number here. And you could also adjust the font style here with more font choices coming in the near future. You could also get rid of some of the labels. So what if you have a countdown timer that's only good for 1 hour? Well, you might not want days to be showing. And maybe you want something that doesn't show seconds. You can turn that off. But what if you want to have leading zeros? What if this was actually 9 hours and 2 minutes? Well, you could turn on leading zeros and it would actually be 9 hours, 2 minutes. You have that ability there. With the expired text, this is what the person will see once it expires if you don't redirect them. So you might say, this offer is expired, too late. And now you can preview how it would look when they revisit that page, or if they're still on that page and you don't redirect them. You might want to obviously change the color to something that's a bit brighter. And now this is what they would see. Now, in terms of the inline page positions, what this is where it would appear on the page. Inline would be like if you dragged it onto the block. You know what? Let me actually show you this. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to hit OK. I'm going to save. And I'm going to grab this embed code right here. And we're going to pop into Kajabi. And I'm going to scroll down onto a sales page right where, say, the pricing is. So I'm going to add a custom HTML code right here. And I'm going to save. And I'm actually going to move this code above the pricing cards, like so. Actually, I'll do this. I'll hit save, and we will preview it. If I scroll down, here you can see I'm in test mode, and this is what that timer would look like in inline mode. So inline shows it in line with where it was placed on your sales page. But now, let's say I wanted to come back into here, and I want to make this not inline. I want it to be full width at the top of the page. I could just hit OK. I can hit save. We'll go back onto Kajabi, and I will refresh the page. And now you can see that as I scroll the page, the timer is at the very top. Now, I can also come back into here, and I could also add some more stuff. I could add some banner text. So this would appear to the left of the countdown timer. So special offer today, grab it now. And now you can see it's on the left. Now I could also add a banner button that says buy now, add the URL for it, like, I don't know, let's do google.com. And now you can see the button. And obviously you can change the background color and the text color, but now you can see how it's being customized. So I can come back here, hit save, and I don't have to go back and re-enter the HTML code. It's already just updating dynamically, but now you can see I have a better call to action at the top. Now, what if I wanted something that floats instead of being full width? Well, instead of doing full width top, I could do just top, or let's just do bottom. So now I will come back, hit save, refresh the page, and you can see it's now floating. It's not full width along the bottom, but it's floating at the bottom. And if I was to click this button, it would take me to google.com. So now that gives you an idea of how it would work on your sales page, on your checkout page, etc. Now let's take a look at the email option. So what I would do is come down to the email, and I could do a couple things. If I wanted to have that same appearance in the email timer, I could just click this button and apply the same style over top of the email option. And now this email code would look the exact same so that when they land on the page, there's a bit of consistency. Now I could come into here, click copy the embed code, come up to the Kajabi email editor, for example, or ActiveCampaign or whatever you're using, and I would just come in here and I would just paste into the source code this image. And there you have it. I have now embedded the same countdown. It doesn't look like it right now. I'll save. Oh, I didn't actually save this. That's what happened. I will come back. I will refresh this. And now you can see it's showing it properly. I got to adjust it Let me come back here, turn off the expired, save, come back to email sequence. There. So I just turn that off. I'm in test mode, so it's a bit funky like that. But as you can see, this is how it would appear. Now, what you can do is type out your email like normal, and when you send it, this will have the accurate countdown for what you've set as the deadline length. Now, on top of that, you can come down to here and grab the link for their contact. Here's why this is important. The link to this landing page for the active countdown requires their email address. That's how all of this is being tracked. So what happens is you are going to use your email link, and that's going to say, hey, this is the same contact tied to this campaign sequence. And I could take any of this text, for example, and I could insert the URL here. But notice this email portion needs to be customized for the platform that you're using. So what I would actually first do is come here, remove this, and add the personalized email using the platform, in this case, Kajabi. Grab that link. Now I would use that here. And now I've just made this link their personal countdown access link for this sales page. Now, there's a bunch of tutorials you can access for how to set all of this up. I just wanted to show you what was possible. But again, you can come down, you can adjust the appearance of the email timer to be different if you wanted. So I could change all of this, hit OK, hit save, come back into the email sequence, hit save again, and now maybe this is more of the appearance I want on the email compared to the web page. A ton of flexibility. It's just a really powerful tool to use in your sales and marketing efforts. Now, those who are using Kajabi, one thing to keep in mind is that regardless of using Countdown Hero or Deadline Funnel, Kajabi only allows you to use the URL to trigger the start of the countdown because they have no web form or HTTP post webhook access in the Kajabi platform. That being said, this URL strategy still works perfectly fine, and it's one of the things that will be covered in my bonus in terms of strategies that you can use with the platform. All right, so that was a lot of information, really cool to see, but let's do a quick recap of exactly what's required to get started with Countdown Hero. Step 1, decide your deadline length. Do you want it to be a fixed date in the future, or do you want it to just be a dynamic moving target that each new person that enters your campaign, for them, they will have 3 days, 4 days, 48 minutes, whatever you decide to choose. The next step, identify your campaign pages. What is the page that you want them to go to while they're in the campaign? Where do you want them to go to when the campaign expires? And where do you want people who aren't part of the campaign to be sent to so that they can get into the campaign, etc.? You have a lot of flexibility, as I showed you, but that's as simple as it gets. What are 3 pages or more, if you choose to, that you want to tie to this campaign? And finally, choose your countdown style. Do you want it to be a floating bar at the top, at the bottom? Do you want it to be inline within the page? You name it. Do you want it to have certain brand colors? Do you want it to have certain structure? Do you want it to look like a countdown timer with the clock kind of display, or do you want it in the circle? There's a lot of variety, but it boils down to those 3 things to get started. Super simple. Now, who benefits the most from Countdown Hero? Well, course creators, membership site owners, coaches and consultants, marketing agencies, affiliate marketers, and e-commerce stores. Essentially, if you have a business that deals with sales and marketing online, you can leverage the power of Countdown Hero. What are some strategies for using Countdown Hero? Well, you can use scarcity marketing to introduce new products and services. Now, I put new in quotes because new doesn't mean it has to be brand new for everybody. It can be new to them. Somebody who opted in for a lead magnet who might not be aware of other products and services that you offer, you can introduce them to those services because it would still be new to them. and apply some urgency, some scarcity to get maybe a special offer or additional value if they take immediate action to try out your product and service. You also can help use Countdown Hero to get slow moving items off the shelves faster. This would apply for local businesses that I work with, or say e-commerce stores, for example, who might want to clear out some inventory. And of course, offering time limited bonuses. This is perfect for affiliate marketers or even coaches, consultants, services, right? You might not want to discount your service, or as an affiliate, you don't have the power to discount someone else's products and services, but you can add scarcity and urgency saying, hey, if you take action in the next 72 hours, here's a bonus that you will get access to if you use this link, or if you buy now and forward me the receipt, etc., etc., etc. There's a lot of opportunity here. Countdown Hero, as you saw, allows for a lot of flexibility in how you implement it. Now, that being said, there's a couple of questions you might have that I might be able to address right now. First off, is Countdown Hero free? No, it's not free. Is there a Countdown Hero trial? No, there is no Countdown Hero trial. However, there is a risk-free period where you can use Countdown Hero, and if you don't like it, if it's not for you, just ask for a refund, and support is amazingly fast with any response to any questions I've had so far. Is there a special Countdown Hero lifetime deal or Countdown Hero lifetime price? Well, when it comes to how much does Countdown Hero cost, there's something you have to realize. Until now, the only way to get Countdown Hero was to be paying about $149 per month for that Email Marketing Heroes membership program called The League. However, they realized that they can probably get more people interested in their membership program by offering one of the key software tools that they've created to more people, which is why for a very limited time you can get access to this founder's pricing, which includes lifetime updates, for just $97. Now, if you want to check this out, you can use the link below this video, or you can use the countdownbonus.com website URL and realize that you get to try it for 30 days risk-free. So while there's not a free trial, you can sign up, and if you don't like it, you can just email them and say, hey, I'd like a refund. No harm, no foul. That being said, compare that $97 one-time price to what Deadline Funnel charges every single month. Even on their basic starter plan at $50 a month, you only get 3 campaigns, you get a maximum of 1,000 leads per month, and you get some email and chat support. If you want to remove the Deadline Funnel branding, if you want to be able to change the colors of your countdowns, the styles of your countdowns, to have 10,000 leads per month, you have to pay $99 per month. All right, I was spending almost $1,000 a year to use Deadline Funnel, which is why, again, when Countdown Hero hit the scene, I was amazed and skeptical that it could do what I needed it to do to allow me to save over $1,000 a year. Now, Deadline Funnel isn't the only competition that's out there. There's also Thrive Ultimatum. Now, Thrive Ultimatum is part of the Thrive suite, and it's only for WordPress. So yes, Thrive Ultimatum does allow you to have unlimited leads as opposed to Deadline Funnel. However, it is also limited to 1 site per license, and that site has to be on WordPress. So if you're using Kajabi, Thrive Ultimatum is already a non-starter unless you also are building a WordPress site to go with your Kajabi site. But basically, to get the value out of Thrive Ultimatum, you need to be using WordPress. And even then, you're limited in how many sites you can use it on. Let me address some of the questions about Deadline Funnel alternatives. Do they exist? Yes. You have Thrive Ultimatum, and now you have Countdown Hero. So you have some variety there. That being said, if you have been looking at Deadline Funnel for Kajabi, I can tell you that Countdown Hero will do exactly the same thing that Deadline Funnel does, for the most part, for your Kajabi platform. So yes, if you're looking for Deadline Funnel for Kajabi, Countdown Hero will definitely meet your needs. Deadline Funnel compared to Thrive Ultimatum. Again, Thrive Ultimatum, you get unlimited leads, but you're limited to a WordPress site, one WordPress site, where Deadline Funnel, you can use it on multiple sites, but you're limited in leads. Countdown Hero removes both of those issues. So that's awesome. That being said, let's talk about some of the advantages that Countdown Hero provides. It has a much simpler user interface. Their dashboard is super simple to use, whereas Deadline Funnel, it gets complicated. There's a lot of moving pieces. You're going back and forth through multiple steps in order to set up a campaign. It's not my favorite. Unique advantage feature number 2, you get multiple pages per campaign. So you could have your main sales page and have that have a countdown on it, but then you could also have, say, a bonus page, a frequently asked question page, multiple different pages that are all part of that campaign, and then you could have a countdown timer on each one that's tied to the same campaign, so that when the campaign ends, all of those pages redirect them to the same expiry page, wherever you want them to go. And that's not something that's easy to do in the other platforms. Now, do you have to have multiple pages? No. But having the ability, having the option to do it is really cool, and that's an advantage to see. Unique advantage number 3, creating design templates. So again, if you take the time to create your brand colors, get the setup that you want for your first countdown timer, instead of having to do the exact same thing from scratch on your next countdown timer, you can simply duplicate the countdown timer that you want to be the master template, and then use it, have it ready to go, just adjust the deadline timer and maybe the pages you want to use it on. That's awesome. That's going to save you so much time, and that's just one of the great advantages that Countdown Hero currently provides. Now, that being said, is Countdown Hero perfect? Absolutely not. Countdown Hero concerns and complaints. Here's some of the common concerns and complaints that I've come across or noticed myself. First off, there's no campaign analytics. So this is an advantage that Deadline Funnel does have over Countdown Hero. Inside of Deadline Funnel, you have charts, you've got reports, so you can see how many people have entered into your campaigns in Deadline Funnel and how many on each day entered, where they're at, etc., etc. In Countdown Hero, you can see a log of who's currently in a campaign, what their current status is in that campaign for time remaining, etc. But it's just not as pretty currently as Deadline Funnels is. But realize, Countdown Hero's only been around at the time of this video about 5 months. So I have no doubt that there's going to be a lot more feature updates coming in the near future. There's also no automated reporting. So with Deadline Funnel, they can set it up, or they allow you to set it up so every week or whatever time frame, you can get a report of how many people entered your Deadline Funnel, where they're at, etc. That currently doesn't exist in Countdown Hero, but it's not to say it's not coming, it just doesn't exist already. And there's only 5 styles to choose from. So as you saw, you only have the 5 kind of formats that you can change the color on, but that's it. Now, that being said, it's not overly difficult or hard to imagine them adding more styles in the future. Just realize that right now there's only the 5. And last but not least, there's limited training on the strategy. So here's the catch, I guess you could say, is that while there is some training on how to use Countdown Hero, the bulk of the strategies for countdowns, deadline funnels, etc., is in their Email Marketing Heroes membership program, the League, which is what Countdown Hero is kind of a lead magnet for. It's to generate quality people who have an interest in improving their emails and scarcity, etc. They have the tool. Now they're going to want the training. However, that is why I've created my bonus. So what I'm actually in the process of doing right now is building out this training, which I'm going to call Countdown Secrets. I'm going to put all of the various strategies and funnels that I've used and I've learned about over the last 13 years into this training, best practices, you name it. And you are going to get email templates, funnel blueprints, and case studies for how to use countdowns and deadlines authentically in your sales and marketing efforts to get the best results without having that fraud, fake feeling as a result of using it poorly, by using too much salt on your product, as I said earlier. This will be a training that I will be selling for $497 to the public in the future. But as part of joining Countdown Hero through my partner link, as you can see, you will get access to this training once it's available, as well as lifetime updates moving forward. So if you have had an interest in adding sales and marketing funnels with scarcity, with deadline funnels into your business, this is training that you're really going to want to see. And I look forward to adding some hidden surprises on top of this as well. Now, let's wrap this up. Review summary. Is Countdown Hero worth it? I think that because the leadership team has a vision for creating a category king, they have used Deadline Funnel for years. They know what it's capable of. They know what they need in order to build a successful funnel with scarcity and urgency, that this is huge. They know where Deadline Funnel has dropped the ball, and they are on top of it to make sure that they create a better solution. On top of that, they are building a platform to truly maximize the sales conversions compared to other apps, both now and in the future, mostly for their members, but you get to benefit from this as well. And this lifetime access deal is truly an insane amount of value. As you saw, Deadline Funnel charges $99 per month just to remove the branding and allow you to change the colors on it. That doesn't even give you unlimited leads. You're still capped at 10,000 leads. That's mind-blowing. So Countdown Hero is a game changer in that aspect. Just 2 months of using Countdown Hero will more than pay for itself compared to, like me, paying for a year of Deadline Funnel and then still having to pay for another year. All right? On top of that, what are some of the other catches you might be, concerned about or thinking about? Well, first off, you might be thinking, well, this sounds too good to be true. Why is Countdown Hero so cheap? Why are they just charging a one-time price? Well, like I mentioned, this used to be a tool that was only available to their monthly membership program, the League, for $150 per month. They have now broken off this tool, this piece, to make it accessible to more people, which of course will ideally funnel more people into their membership program. So this isn't like a lot of those lifetime deals that you see out there where they sell a bunch of lifetime deal access, they get no additional sales, and the product kind of just withers and dies. There will be ongoing updates and feature improvements to this software because their monthly members are using it, right? And they use it. They use it for their own business. They have done well over 7 figures in their marketing business. So there is no concern about this not being supported or not being developed. And there's no real concern over why they're making it so affordable to access. It's because it is a funnel introduction to their business for their ideal customers as well. You also might be wondering, are there any Countdown Hero one-time offers, OTOs, upsells, etc.? So let me show you exactly what you can expect once you go through their funnel. First off, you have that initial Countdown Hero lifetime access offer. There is an OTO and a second OTO. So the first offer for the lifetime access is $97, but I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Right now, at the time of this video, you can actually get an additional $30 off of the lifetime access. So it's not $97, it's actually $67 at the time of this recording. So if you're interested, like I said, check out countdownbonus.com. The first OTO, the first upsell, is $97, and the second one is $297. What do those include? Well, for the basic lifetime product, you get 2,000 leads per month and 5 live countdowns. Remember, Deadline Funnel charges $50 per month, and you get 1,000 leads and 3 countdown timers. The next thing is with the Pro package. For the $97 upgrade, you get access to unlimited leads, unlimited countdowns, you get custom color and branding configuration, you get to customize the expiry text that shows up once the actual timer is done, and you can have the same countdown on multiple pages. Deadline Funnel charges $99 per month, and that still only comes with 10,000 leads. For the majority of people, I believe you would just need the initial basic package and probably the pro upgrade, just so you have that ability to have unlimited countdowns, unlimited leads, and to customize the appearance of your countdown timer. So, who would want to use the agency? Well, the agency allows you to integrate multiple email marketing, autoresponder, and CRMs into the same account. Here's what I mean. Let's say you have 3 different websites. You've got one that does dog training, one that teaches golfing, and one that teaches baking. Well, each one's probably going to have their own email accounts for autoresponders, etc. If you only have the pro upgrade, you can only connect one active campaign, one Klaviyo, one Keep account into your account. With the agency upgrade, you can connect multiple active campaign, multiple Keep, multiple Klaviyo, whatever. This is what's going to allow you to use it for clients, to use it for your various brands, etc. Now, you might be thinking, well, why would I want to pay $297 for that? Well, if you wanted to have client accounts with Deadline Funnel, you'd be paying $200 per month and you would still only get 5 client accounts. So with Countdown Hero, for that $297, you get unlimited client accounts. That's the difference. Again, most people will probably be good with just the pro upgrade, but if you do work with clients or if you have multiple brands, you're probably going to want to get the agency upgrade. So those are the upsells. Those are the current prices at the time of this video, but I have a feeling that's probably going to stay for a little bit. So with all of that said, again, if you are interested in getting started with Countdown Hero, take advantage of this partner link of mine to get access to my bonus bundle. You get access to my Countdown Secrets training that I'm working on at the time of this video, so it might be ready by the time you sign up. And you get access to email campaign templates, funnel blueprints, case studies, and more, which will help you to supercharge your urgency kind of aspect of your sales and marketing. And of course, in the future, I will be selling this for $497, but anybody who accesses the Countdown Hero offer through this link will get access to my training as well as lifetime updates moving forward. So hopefully you found this very detailed review helpful. If you have any questions or concerns, leave them below. I will make future videos to address them. Or if you have anything you would like me to see video-wise, share them below. I'd love to help you out. In the meantime, I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll talk to you soon.